Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for the YouOrns Friday Focus on Watford versus Queen's Park Rangers at the Vic tomorrow. Yes, that's the game on offer in the Championship for Watford, looking for their first win in 2 weeks. Watford remain unbeaten in the Championship to start off with, 5 games, and they continue to do well in the Championship. They will want to wipe the cobwebs off of that horrible performance in midweek against MK Dons and try to get back on track as the Championship returns against the Queen's Park Rangers side, who have won just one of their first 5 games. Now, Mick Beale will be bringing his West London outfit to Hertfordshire tomorrow with an expectation to put a scare in Watford, who have been one of the two pace setters thus far in the Championship season. Queen's Park Rangers will have Ethan Laird. That's right. That's the man that Watford ended up passing up on. He is the right back who Watford could have used and needed since Gaspar has not been up to it so far for Watford overall. Ethan Laird is the young man, 21 years of age, who will start tomorrow for Queen's Park Rangers at right back. And we'll see how Watford take on Laird and all other comers in the Rangers shirt. Rangers are going to probably play you a 4-3-2-1, something of that nature. That's what you can probably expect from them. But we'll see indeed if it works out that way for Rangers. But I do think Rangers will try with their back at the four at the back and the way they play to try to force Watford into narrow areas of the pitch. I think what they're going to do is try to make the pitch smaller for Watford and force all the action through the midfield and through the channel, through the middle of the pitch. That I think is going to be Queen's Park Rangers' approach. We'll see if that is their approach tomorrow, but I think that's what Mick Beale and company will be planning on, to force Watford to break Queen's Park Rangers down in the middle of the pitch, not on the wide areas. And that means that would neutralize what Rob Edwards would be trying to do. Now, the question for me is, will Rob Edwards continue with the 3-5-2? He probably will, but with Ismail Assar in action, he may go to a 4-3-3 format to try to get into those wide areas and force Watford, actually force Queen's Park Rangers to defend the wide areas, which I think is a place where Rangers could be vulnerable. If Ismail Assar has any kind of game, and if he is starting in the game tomorrow, it's probably going to be a 4-3-3. And if he does start, I think he will be key to unlocking Queen's Park Rangers. Definitely some wide balls and some crosses from out wide will put the Queen's Park Rangers defense under some pressure, but we'll see how it all plays out. If Sarr starts, that I think will be a 4-3-3, but we'll see. We'll see about that because the strike force of Fakun Bio and Raymond I has not done it so far. Bio has been impressive with his work rate, but Manai, I have not been so far overall, at least, impressed with him. But he has scored. That's something Bio has not done as of yet. Finishing will be the name of the game once again for Watford tomorrow, and they will have to finish to get a result here against Queen's Park Rangers, a team who have come close and have had their own finishing woes in recent games. As I said, they've won just once in their first 5. Watford have won twice in their first 5. And Watford will be looking to get back on a winning track at the Vic, where they are 2-0 thus far on the season. Watford, in terms of their league play, are 2-0. But of course, we know about the result the other night. I think Watford will play a whole lot better in this game than they had in the game against MK Dons, and I think that they will be up for the challenge against the Rangers side, who I think will be rather plucky. They've got some good players. They've got Roberts, they've got Willock, they've got Dykes, they've got Laird. As I said, this is a man that Watford wanted. Ethan Laird is a right back for Queen's Park Rangers. Expect him to feature, and Watford did not pick him up when they had a chance to, for whatever reason. And as a result, now Queen's Park Rangers have him for a whole season. He's only 21 years of age. And by the way, I do think that he will be a very lively presence for Queen's Park Rangers tomorrow. But what Watford have to do is finish better. I mean, that's been the remit all season long. We need players who can finish and put the ball in the back of the net. Watford averaged less than a goal per game in the Championship, and it will behoove them to finish chances. I think Watford have to get off on the ground early here and score early and put Queen's Park Rangers on the defensive. But the thing that Watford cannot afford to do is play a slow tempo game. I would like to see Watford move the ball a lot quicker than they have in a number of games recently. I would like to see them have a little bit more energy and intensity at home in this game against the Rangers side, who are going to be up for it. I expect Rangers will soak up a lot of the Watford pressure. In fact, they will probably camp around their 18-yard box and dare Watford to break them down. And as I said, they'll try to direct Watford to the centralized areas of the pitch, try to narrow the width of the pitch and force Watford into the middle of the pitch. And if they do that, then I think Queen's Park Rangers can come out with a creditable result, maybe a draw. But if Watford are able to find a way around the back of the Rangers four and can stretch the pitch enough where they can get runners in behind, maybe wing backs in behind, then maybe Watford will have a lot more than just a point to celebrate tomorrow. But it's hard to see. It's hard to see where Watford's dynamism is going to come from if they don't have someone the likes of Sarr in their lineup to start with, and if Rob Edwards doesn't push that 4-3-3 system. I also think, by the way, that Ken Sema should be coming off the bench for a game like this. We saw how effective Sema was off the bench against MK Dons the other night. He was very good. And of course, Adrian Blake was very good as well coming off the bench. But I do think that you have to look at having Joseph Hungbo start on the left instead. I would like to see Joseph Hungbo get the start. His energy and enthusiasm and liveliness, I think, are very good. I think that's what we need to kickstart the game. I think Sema's more of an impact player who can come off the bench and try to make things happen. And I think that he will be a lively presence. But I don't know that Rob Edwards is going to change too many things. He may just go with the 3-5-2 that he favors. But it's anybody's guess at the moment. You've got Sarr, who is coming back into shape after being left off. I think he's raring to go. So I expect to see Ismaila Sarr starting. But between Vakun Bio and Raymond I really do not know. I think Bio's worked very, very hard indeed for the team. And perhaps Bio will get the start. I'm not so sure that Raymond I should get the start. But again, we'll see. We could also possibly see Keenan Davis, although we know as of late that he is not match fit. So Watford have said that he is not match fit. So we'll see if he even gets a place on the bench coming up tomorrow. It's anyone's guess as we now have the final few days of the transfer window remaining. All eyes on what Gino Pozzo and company are going to do to bring in players who can put the ball in the back of the net and also to bring in a right wing back. We'll see if that happens as well. It remains to be seen, though. We have no idea what's going on in the Watford hierarchy among these things. We're hearing about Jack Stevens. We're hearing about Jamal Lowe. We're hearing about Cameron Archer possibly, and maybe who knows who else. But again, it's going to be a very interesting game tomorrow. I'll think that Watford will get the 3 points here, but I don't think it's going to be an easy one. I would like to see Watford score at least 2 goals. If they get 2 goals in the game against Queen's Park Rangers, they may have an easier time of it. But I think Queen's Park Rangers are going to be very dogged tomorrow, and they will have to, Watford that is, be aware that Queen's Park Rangers are going to be looking to frustrate Watford, and Watford cannot afford to fall into the trap. They've got to move the ball quicker, and they've got to be able to get people like Joseph Hungbo, and I'd like to see him start this game, moving the ball up the pitch quickly as he does. So we'll see what happens. Aspria, I'll be looking at him. Chowdhury is going to be a very important figure, and so is Ida Kayembe. And we'll see how things go defensively. Probably going to see Courtney House start as well somewhere here. If you're going to go with 3-5-2, you'll probably have House on the left. You'll probably have Sierralta in the center and Cathcart on the right-hand side. Something of that nature. You can expect that, I would say. But we'll see with what goes on. He may go with a 4. He may go with a 4. I don't think Gaspar should be starting in this game tomorrow. But who knows, again, what Rob Edwards is going to be doing, because it's just very interesting at the minute. Rob Edwards likes to be more attack-minded, so he may use a 3-5-2 because that really is his bread and butter. But with no real wing-backs, especially on the right side, it's going to be a tough one. I don't know. He could put Camera on the left and make it a back 4, but we don't know. We don't know. He may put Camera on the left and still make it a 3-5-2, with Camera being the wing back on the left. It remains to be seen, but all I think here is that Watford will find a way to get past Queen's Park Rangers at the Vic. This has been the YouOrns Friday Focus.